morning, dear hearts. We are on lesson 96. Please subscribe. So we are in a section of lessons, really big thoughts that are going to contribute to our thought reversal system. They have been with us now for several days. You know, we've had that light and joy and peace abide in me. We had a giant stride. That is such an important lesson, that I am as God created me. You know, we have had I am one self, big S self, united with my Creator. And today we have salvation comes from my one self. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to add a word there, because in the lesson, and as I'm reading it, the word self, both with a capital and not so much one, is used a lot. So I'm going to add the word true. Salvation comes from my one true self, the self that I really am, not the one I made. And that is, you know, also one of the points that this lesson is making for us. There are two selves. I see myself as two, even though in truth I am one true self. I experience myself as two. And it has a little list of good and evil, loving and hating, mind and body. And the mind in the lesson is not capitalized, but I think for clarification, I would capitalize it, because this lesson really harks back a lot to God is the mind, with which I think one of our wonderful God is lessons in the first 50. So it says now, you know, this sense of being split into two opposites induces feelings of acute and constant conflict and leads to frantic attempts to reconcile the contradictory aspects of this self-perception. It's like I don't know who I am, and how could I if it's like the cartoons of old. I don't know if they do them anymore, but you know, there was an angel on one shoulder and a little devil on the other, and you know, we'd be constant going back and forth to which point of view. Am I listening to the angel in me, or am I listening to the devil? So it tells us then, this lesson going back to the fact is, okay, the fact is that truth and illusions cannot be reconciled. They never will. No matter how hard we try, it's not going to happen. And we know that we have tried, and we have had futile attempts to do that. And says, you know, until you have accepted this, you will attempt an endless list of goals you cannot reach, a senseless series of expenditures of time and effort, and probably green paper strips as well, hopefulness and doubt, each one going back and forth, devil, angel, and each one is going to be as futile as the one before, and failing as the next one surely will, because we are in the ego mind of, again, seek, do not find. And in the text, you know, it has that thing about you've noticed a characteristic of the ego, that everything that it has ever given you has not succeeded. And so you're forced to shift ceaselessly. We're looking ceaselessly. We're looking for salvation. We're looking for our freedom. And of course, this lesson is about salvation, or freedom, or happiness, or peace, which comes from my one true self. It says, the self you made can never be your true self. I'm going to inject that in whenever it is self with a capital S, because if you're not looking at it, it might be confusing. Nor can your true self be split in two and still be what it is and must forever be. A mind and body cannot both exist. We see ourselves as true self being mind, or ego self, small self, which is a body, totally and completely identified. But now what this lesson is telling us, and what we have already discussed in the past, is that we're spirit. That's what we are. We are spirit, and the body must be meaningless to you in reality. If you identify as spirit, and spirit and mind are one here, then we have to realize that it is in spirit that is where our peace resides. That's where we will find our happiness. And when we move away from that center, we are not feeling whole. And we start to look around for what is that missing piece. Now, the missing piece, is it P-I-E-C-E or P-E-A-C-E? But whatever it is missing. I'm going to go with the P-E-A-C-E. The missing piece of who we are when I am not using the mind of God and I'm seeing myself as body. The lesson goes on in paragraph 4, and it's a great paragraph. Spirit makes use of mind and means to find its true self-expression. And the mind which serves the spirit is at peace and filled with joy. Its power comes from spirit, and it is fulfilling happily its function here. Yet mind can also see itself divorced from spirit, and that's small mind, that's ego mind, can see itself divorced from spirit and perceive itself within a body, because that's what the ego does, and it confuses within a body that it confuses as its self, thinking that that's who I am. I am not a body. Okay, we've had that sentence already. We will be having a lot more of it. I am not a body. And without its function, then it has no peace and happiness. It is alien to its thoughts. And yet mind apart from spirit cannot think. True mind is one with spirit. When it is absent from spirit, it is a part from spirit. It cannot think. Salvation cannot make illusions real. Freedom, peace cannot make illusions real, nor solve a problem that does not exist. And every problem of the body does not exist. There is one problem, there is one solution. We've received both of them. Paragraph 7, yourself, your true self retains its thoughts, and they remain within your mind and in the mind of God. God is the mind with which I think. The Holy Spirit holds salvation, peace, freedom in your mind and offers it the way to peace. Salvation, freedom, happiness is a thought you share with God because His voice accepted it for you. The Holy Spirit accepted it for us and answered in your name that it was done. Thus is salvation, freedom, kept among the thoughts your true self holds dear and cherishes for you. Now, we are still in our first 5 minutes of every hour for practicing. And the line that we use to go into it is salvation comes from my one self or my one true self. Its thoughts are mine to use. And then, of course, you go in and it says to seek its thoughts. Seek the thoughts of spirit. Seek the thoughts of your one true self and claim them as your own. These are your own real thoughts you have denied, and let your mind go wandering in a world of dreams. That's where, I have gone. Remember way back when that, if I'm not thinking with God, I'm only having thoughts that I think. I'm not having real thoughts at all. Salvation. So here are your thoughts, the only ones you have, the true thoughts, the thoughts of peace, the thoughts of our freedom, the thoughts of salvation. And it is for everyone. And salvation is among them, and find it there. And it says, if you succeed, the thoughts that come to you will tell you that you are saved. Saved. You are happy. You are at peace. You are one. You are with one. You are within the mind of God, and that your mind has found the function that it sought to lose. My little mind, the separate mind, my ego self, tried to lose who I really am. No, that's not you. That was listening to that devil on my shoulder. But your true self will welcome it and give it peace. Restored in strength, it will again flow out from spirit to the spirit in all things created by the spirit as itself. Your mind will bless all things. Confusion's done. You are restored, for you have found your true self. This is, and each time that we do this today, we tell our frantic mind, all of the the wild thoughts, the chaotic thoughts, to quiet down, and that peace is coming for them. And there is one true self, and we lay aside everything else and any other thing that we think is a treasure, and in place of it, we allow our peace, our oneness to come instead. And all of it is given everyone who asks for it and will accept the gift. Think then how much is given unto you to give this day, that it be given you, that this one true self, these thoughts of freedom and peace, salvation, have come to us, and they are meant for us to share. So that's it for today. I hope this helped. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, please pray. Pray for always the recognition of this light, this joining of light of our minds, because in that joining of the minds for salvation, for everyone, we will find the strength of God and peace eternal. Namaste.